Excuse me. Five, 4, solving proportions, where again we're going to recognize and represent proportional relationships. Yesterday, or rather the previous lesson, 5.3, we only wrote down proportions and then had to solve only 3 of them. Today, we're going to solve every time. And majority of our assignment looks something like this, where we have 2 options. One, we could use multiplication, which means take a look. Where are only numbers? Meaning, on the bottom, are they both numbers? On both denominators numbers? Good, focus there. Don't focus where the variable is, focus here. Which one is smaller, the 12 or the 3? Since 12 is smaller, 3 is smaller, take 3 times what to make 12? 4. Should have put a little times 4 on the top as well, because 5 times 4 is 20. Done. I need to see that work, though, so make sure all of this is written on your problem. Even though you can say solve mentally, show the work in math class. On IXL, just type in 20. On a standardized test, type in 20, and off you go. That, if you like that method works most of the time. But when we talk about using cross products here, use cross products. This will work every time. Again, as you're looking at it down here, variables on top up here, so we're going to ignore that. We're going to come down here, looking at 4 and 6. If you know something that you can take 4 times to make 6, great, do that. But if not, or if there isn't anything, then we're going to use the cross product. When we talk cross product, this always works. Say always. Say always. All right. Always works. So put your pencil on the 3. And then draw diagonally, ricochet off that like a pinball. Ding! Write down 3 times 6. Put an equal sign, but don't tell me what that equals. Pick up your pen. Put it on the M. Do the cross product, ricochet off. You got 4M. Now that you have the cross products written, once you have this here, now start telling me what things are. What is 3 times 6? 18, and 4 times m, I'm going to write it as 4m. From there, focus on the side with the variable. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Divide the left by 4, divide the right by 4, share, play nice. And from there, you get 4 2/4, or 4 1/2. 4.5 equals m. The cross product, right up there. Say cross product. The cross product always works. This is what a majority of your assignment looks like. If you can do it this way and like it, use this method. If you like cross product works every time. If you don't like this crisscross, cross product, zigzag thing, whatever you're going to call it, it's technically cross product, so let's attend to precision and use the right word. But this will work all the time. If you don't want to use this method, fine, don't. But you will have to on a few problems because there's no other choice. That's the majority of your assignment. Now, let's talk levels 3 and level 4. Behind this screen, which you can already see on your notes, you have this, which we're going to solve the same method. There's 2 ways to kind of do this. If you wanted to look at it or you want a question, you can ask that to me. But right now, could you just put parentheses around this thing, which might be confusing or scary to some of us. And since it kind of is, I'm going to start over here with my pencil on the 12. Do the cross product, ricochet off of that. Please put down 12 times 13. Put that equal sign. Notice how those equal signs are staying lined up. So don't tell me what 12 times 13 is yet. Now pick up that pen and go ricochet off here. Again, I'm changing colors. You don't need to. But please write down 4 with a parentheses h plus 5. Now, what do you need to do with that 4 since it's touching the parenthesis? It's timesing, so distribute. 4h plus, not 5. That's why we need to put parentheses right here, because sometimes we'll just do 4h plus 5. That is very close and good thinking, but we need to go and remember that it's 4 times 5, which gives us 20. And then mental math or calculator approved, 12 times 13 gave us 156. And here's kind of a review from last chapter and the chapter before. Solve this equation. Find the variable. Is it on our beloved left side? Oh, good, it is. Cover up the 4h. Is there something else on that same side? There is. How are we going to get rid of adding a positive 20? Please add a negative 20, or yes, subtract 20 from both sides. Please note we did that because these guys cancel. You're left with 4h on the left side and 136 on the right side. Then solve by dividing on out. Again, start on the side with the variable so we know and can focus that we're going to put 4 in the denominator, the bottom, because those guys cancel. You're left with h equals 34. Most years I have a couple like that in a book, or IXL will give us some of those as challenge, so call that a level 4. And then you can do it, just a little extra step in there. Again, we're doing that because we're going to be representing proportional relationships. And we're going to find and solve for those, whether we want to kind of tie in 7RP3 where it talks about using proportionals to solve ratio problems or whatnot. That's what we're looking at. Now, let's go and use this a little bit more here. Dimensional analysis is when we change units. Sometimes in class we ask, what are these things? Well, they're squiggly equals, which means approximately equal to or about. Mentioned in class that some of us are familiar that 10 yards is exactly 30 feet. 5 feet is exactly 60 inches. So we can talk about things like that where when we're looking at those go right through and work. But when we're trying to convert from the standard, the American measurement, to metrics, it does not come out nice and neat. You can see there are 2 down here that we've got. I'm going to focus on the left one first. What we're going to do is we need to find the ratio up here that matches. Since I've got km and m, kilometer or kilometer, however you want to pronounce it, and miles, excuse me, find that. So does this top one on the left have miles and kilometer? Nope. Miles and kilometer? Nope. Miles and kilometer? Nope. Ah, this guy does. Write that as a ratio. Write that as a fraction. So I'm going to write that down. Just this guy right here. I'm going to write him down as 1 over 1 and 61/100. If you'd like to, you are welcome to write down the labels on the left, miles with the 1, and kilometers on the 1.61. You don't have to do that, but it is very helpful because then when we're looking here and we're trying to figure out where do we put this 5 kilometers, it needs to match the labels. Since the 5 is on the bottom, please put it there. And then insert your favorite variable there, representing an unknown quantity. And from there, we're then going to do our cross product. 1 times 5 equals, don't tell me what that is. And then from there, do the other cross product. 1 and 61/100, 1.61 times x. Now you can tell me that 5 equals 1.61x. From there then, divide both sides. Divide it on out. Oh, yeah. That's my neck. Hopefully it's quiet now. So you divide those on out. Try that again. Remember, the squiggly equal sign means approximately equal to or about, which means these are probably not going to come out very nice. We're going to have long decimals. So as you're looking at that and you divide it on out, when you get a very long decimal, just write down 3, and then in this case, write out the 5 numbers. Always write down 5 numbers after the decimal place. Then follow instructions. If they don't tell you what to do, Mr. Walls says 2, a fun little rhyme that came to me today as we were doing this in class. So what I mean is if they don't tell you where to round to the nearest hundredth. That's this 0 here. Well, in fact, since we're in our notes, would you please draw a line underneath of that 10, underneath that 0, and then draw an arrow to the number immediately after that. Is this number 5 or higher? It is. So that means we're going to round this number. We're going to round the one that you just underlined. So instead of it being 3.10, it'll be 3.11 for a final answer. And you can always just put that right up there in the blank because then it already has your label with it. Staying on this slide, we can do another one here where now we've got another example where we got 1.6 centimeters and inches. So now go back up. Centimeters and inches? No. We got centimeters and inches here on the top right? No. Over here, do we have it on the top left? Centimeters and inches? Aha! We do. So write that guy then as a ratio. Write down 1 over 2 54/100ths. Again, you are welcome to write down that the 1 had the label inch and that the 2.54 had the label as centimeters, because then that's going to help us here. As we then look at our next one, what are we going to do here with this 1.61? It needs to be in the same spot as the centimeters, which is on the bottom. So put it there, insert your favorite variable. And again, we go through and we do some cross products that will always work. So as you're looking at that, again, I'm going to start here in the upper corner. 1 to the 1.6, ricochet off, write it on in. 1 times 1.6. If you need to use the times X symbol, you can, so you don't get confused there. You're welcome to that. And then again, on the other one, pick up your pen, X over to 2.54. Now that you've got that, now you can tell me that 1 times 1.6 is still 1 6/10, and then you have 2 54/100ths X. Solve that by dividing both sides by 2 54/100ths. Again, start on the side with the variable. Once you have done that, ooh, big decimal. All right, so then write it on out, but only write down 5 decimal places so you can see it. That's what equals X. And then again, since we're here in our notes, there's no direction. So Mr. Walls says when there's nothing, when you don't know what to do or aren't told what to do, round to the second decimal place. Take a look back. Is the number immediately after it 5 or higher? It is, so round up this number here. This one, instead of it being a 2, and move it up 1. So that's going to give us 0.63, which you can put in the blank and see the label right there with it. Now, when we talk about seeing, we've got some more. Again, these you're going to need on the book assignment. We talk about dimensional analysis. So you're going to have to go through all 3 of these slides and figure out which one of these ones you need. So again, showing you that just briefly here on this one again, and then looking for this, pounds and kilograms. Careful, we want the one with pounds and kilograms. Not this one, that's just grams. Pounds and kilograms, nope. Pounds and kilograms, there it is. Please write that guy as a ratio. So write it out as this guy right here, as 1 over 0.4536. That equals, again, you're welcome to write down the labels. You don't have to, but it can be helpful. So, you know, pounds is on top, kilograms is on bottom, because then we're going to find a spot to plug this guy in, the 22.09. Again, that needs to go somewhere, either the top or the bottom. If we plug it into the wrong spot, we're going to do great math and have the wrong answer. So if you're saying, teacher, how come I have an answer that's nothing close to what you have? We probably put this in the wrong spot, which means we made a tiny mistake. It's not that we are horrible at math, can never do math, we don't get this at all. No, you just made a small mistake. So let's take a look. Since the 2209 has pounds on it, we want that to go with the pounds, which is on top. And then insert your choice of variable. And it's time to do the cross product again. So here we go. Going from the 1 to the x, ricochet off. I got 1 times x. And then the other way, I've got these guys. Woof. So 22, and make sure you don't lose the decimal, 0.09, 22 and 900ths, times 0.4536, which is 4,536 ten-thousandths, if you're wondering how to say that. .09, 22 and 900ths times 0.4536, or rather 4,536 ten-thousandths, if you're wanting to know how to say that. Now that you've got that, you can tell me that 1x equals, and that guy, cross your fingers, it comes out nice, and it doesn't, so we're going to write out the first 5 decimal places we have, and again, when not told what to do, Mr. Wald says 2, so 10.0, second decimal place is a 2. Look back, this guy is not 5 or higher, so it's going to stay the same. You can box on up, or you could just sneak it on up here where the label already is. Please bring that 2 with, since my pen did not work that way. And in class, that would be all the examples we did, but since there's notes here and I want the PDFs to be complete, I'm going to go through these quickly here and write them on in as well. So you're welcome to kind of jump ahead if you want to in the notes, or if you just want to finish these. I'm going to go by quicker than normal because we've already done the 3. So seeing grams and pounds, I need to write out that ratio. Watch on the numbers, be very careful. So then you've got, what I got here, 684.4 goes on the bottom. Great, ricochet off. You got those equal to this guy, 453.6 times x, which is 684 and 4/10 equals 453 and 6/10 x. Awesome. Keep going. Divide both sides by 453.6. 453 and 6/10 x. Get a decimal that is not nice, which is okay. You're just going to write it on out with the first 5 digits. Since Mr. Wall says if you don't know what to do, not told what to do, round. And we're just going to do just that. We're going to make that 101.51 pounds. Again, here are some more. You're going to want to know these, so you might have to go looking through these on your notes to find it on the assignment. Otherwise, here we go. We're looking for liters and gallons, so we're going to find the liters and gallons right there. Write it on out. So then this guy, because it's with the liters, he will go on the bottom. Chosen variable on top, and away we go. 1 times 35.85 equals 3.979 times x, which is 35 and 85 equals to 3 and 79 x divided by 3.79, 3 and 79. And as you're looking at that, again, because it's approximately equal to, you're going to find that it does not come out very nice. So we get that answer of 9.4591, which isn't so bad. But again, rounding to the nearest second decimal place to the hundredths gives us 9.46. And then this last one, again, talking about cups and milliliters, finding the right one. Cups and milliliters gives me 1/2 and 236 and 59 equals this guy. Cups goes on the top. Don't lose the decimal, beloved variable. 1 times x equals those guys, 7.44 times. Again, you can use the x symbol in multiplying or something else if the dots get confusing. And as you've got that, well, that's just 1x equals, wow, that's a lot. That's all right, though. You just write out, all those decimals. Nope, you just write out 5 of them. If there's only 4, great. I only have 4 here for whatever reason. I forgot to write down the last one. Multiply them out, round to whatever instructions say. Right here it doesn't say, so I'm going to write on in 1760.23. Wow, fun. Now, back to a word problem. So, pause. Welcome back. If you were jumping ahead, please make sure that you stop here and we watch this one as we're working on this one. As you look at it, we've got 15 dogs and 5 cages. So that's going to be a lovely rate. So go ahead and circle that up and write that as a fraction. You are welcome to write the labels off to the left if you'd like to remember that the 15 stands for dogs and the 5 stands for cages. Don't be concerned about it. Perhaps we're talking about a kennel or a dog hotel, wherever you put the dogs when you go on vacation, and they have really big cages. Just focus on the numbers here. Now, when we talk about solving and using proportions, I always talk about that there's a third number or another number that they gave us, which is right here, the 17 cages. So again, we need to figure out, where does this 17 go, the top or the bottom? Would the 15 have the cages or the 5 have the cages? When you write over here, the little ratios with the labels, you can see cages is on the bottom. So that's where we want to keep it. We always want it to be dogs and cages. Dogs and cages that need to be set up the same way. Now, for something unknown, put in a variable. I'm going to give you a life hack. I'm putting the letter D in. Why? It stands for dogs. That's a little reminder to myself when I'm all said and done that I need to have a label, and that label is going to be about dogs. So here we go. Boom, boom, ricocheting off. 15 times 17. Don't tell me what that equals. Show me the other cross product. 5 times D. Once you have those written in, then you may grab a calculator. Then you may do math and tell me that that is 255 equals 5D. Solve by getting rid of the 5 with the D. Divide both sides by 5. Mental math calculator approved. 55 equals D. Before I box that up, the D reminded me I need a label. So 51 dogs. If you're not sure on the label, go find your variable. It was here on top. What did the 15 have for a label? What's on top as a label? Dogs. That's another way to look at it, another way to find that variables or that label for that answer. Again, when we're looking at this, you can see we've got this because we're looking at representing proportional relationships, and we're going to do that today by solving proportions. Either way, use it, show me the work, and then we're going to write and solve proportions as well.